Now I got something to talk about. Oh my God, my hair is so messed up. Housing crisis. What the heck? Okay, now she told me to go live. My hair is a little disheveled. Oh, there she is. Come on up here, Realtor from North Carolina. Okay, view request. Yes. I might keep this live on. I might save this live, actually. I do like my filter. Oh, look who we have here.
Hi, I don't have a filter. I'm just gonna do this.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, cool. Hey, boo. Hey, everyone. Housing crisis. What the heck? What does that mean? I saw your post just 3 minutes ago on IG Live, and there was a line out the wazoo. Hey, everyone. There's a line out the wazoo for a house just a little under market. There was a question in the chat that said, "Did it sell over market?" Explain to us what the heck's going on. Why is there a line, and why is there a housing crisis? Because I don't really know for real.
Well, let me just say, excuse my language, but bitch ain't nowhere to stay.
Just say, oh my God.
Ain't nowhere to stay, bitch. These people are homeless and looking for houses, and there's no houses available. We literally have less than a month of we may have like a week of inventory of houses. Which is, no, I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I am being so serious right now. Like, bitch, it's nowhere to stay.
So what does that actually mean? And for those who are just joining, hey, what's up, guys? This is my friend out of Charlotte, North Carolina, who is a realtor. She's been doing this for quite a while, and she's been keeping her eye on the pulse of the market and what's going on. The influxions or inflations, yeah, the inflations and things
Yeah,
like that. Sorry, I don't know the
so
lingo.
for real, like,
Yeah,
also, though, like, it really is a housing crisis right now. So the post that I just put up is actually, it's a realtor in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from here,
yeah,
from Charlotte, North Carolina. And what she was showing is literally what realtors across the nation, not even just like here in North Carolina, but realtors across the nation are dealing with.
yeah.
We're with not having enough inventory for the number of buyers that's out there. So, and I literally was on I had a meeting earlier today, and we were talking about that. We were talking about how we are seriously at an all-time low. What the person that was heading up the meeting, what they said is that the history for the history have been tracking housing sales and things of that nature, like the history of it being tracked. We are literally the most possible low that it can get since they started tracking housing sales. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So typically, if and what that means is, so when I say like we don't have any inventory, so for instance, let's just say this month, we're just going to take it by a month basis. So let's say this month there are 10 houses that go on the market to be sold. All 10 of those houses are going to get sold, but guess what? There's probably 20 people looking for houses. So you got 20 people looking at only those 10 houses that are available. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, 10 houses are most certainly going to get sold. And so you'll have 10 out of 20 people who have found housing. But now you have this overage, that those 10 remaining people that are still looking for housing, and it may not be housing available until the next month or the following month or the following month or the following month. So last summer here in North Carolina, we only had a month and a half of inventory, and it's down lower now. It's lower than that. Like, we don't even have a month of inventory available. Like,
Mm-hmm.
put in a search for a family that was looking in Huntersville, and based on their criteria, their budget, and things of that nature, literally only 17 houses came up. And those 17, we had already looked at 10 of them. So it is just like that, like across the board. It is like that. As a realtor, we're all experiencing this crunch, if you will. You can call it a crunch because it is, but what it is and what's causing it is these corporations started coming in and buying up all of these properties. So,
oh, really?
The big time corporations, they were coming in, because the prices of the houses, they were relatively low. The value of the homes were relatively low. In the mid, like,
And we're talking about corporations like who, for example?
corporations like Open Door, Zillow,
Oh, those kind of people. Okay.
like that. But then you have your other corporations that started coming in, and they were just buying up land so that they can build homes for their employees. So you have some other corporations. Amazon is one of them. They have been buying up land like literally everywhere. So that drives up the price of housing as well, because if you have a corporation come in to a neighborhood where, and not really a neighborhood, when I say neighborhood, don't immediately go to like a community. So if they go to just an area and there's some residents around it, some residential properties around it, by them purchasing that land and probably purchasing it for 2 or 3, maybe 4 times what the land is actually worth, because they're bidding against other corporations. So they come in and buy that land. That land is going to drive up the value of all the land around it as well. These big corporations are coming in, Amazon, Tesla, Walmart, Publix, Whole Foods. When they're coming in and they start buying up all this land, the residents around it, they feel it, because property taxes are going to go up, but the value of their home goes up as well. So they are definitely getting the equity in their homes. But when they go to sell it, because you have buyers now who may have only been approved for $250,000, $300,000, $350,000. So once upon a time, they were able to purchase those homes before these big corporations came in and bought up all the land and drove up the prices. Since the corporations have come in and it did drive up the prices, those buyers who were qualified for, again, 250, 300, 350, maybe 400, they can't buy these homes, because when the property value goes up on the homes, 9 times out of 10, the seller's going to say, oh, well, my home is worth this much now. That's how much I'm going to sell it for.
Yeah.
And are overpriced. So what's happening is they're listing these homes now because they know that they can get it, because they're saying, okay, well, the value of my home, it's now $400,000. I'm going to list it for $500,000. So that completely washes out those buyers who were only qualified for 250, 300, 350, 400,000. It totally washes them out. And so now it goes into a whole nother bracket of buyers. But the thing is, you don't have that many people in that bracket.
That's true.
Can afford 400, 450, 500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes. Everybody is pretty much working class. There's a very small percentage of people who are living in $1 million homes. Even $500,000 homes, there's a very small percentage of people living in those type of homes that are priced at that value. You have a big chunk of people who are buying homes, or who could really only afford homes between $350,000 and maybe $450,000, maybe $500,000, maybe. Big chunk of people there. And so when you have houses that is beyond that budget, like, everybody's homeless. Like, you have buyers out here that are qualified to buy and have the money, but they don't have enough money to buy the houses because the prices have been driven up because corporations have come in and bought up the properties or bought up the land around the properties and driven up the prices.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to everyone that just came in the chat. We're sitting here having a now educational conversation that turned into a leisurely conversation
Right.
about the housing crisis that's taking place here. I would say due to the pandemic and the strength that's happened through the pandemic. And my friend Kendra Macon, who is a realtor in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, is giving us a breakdown about this housing crisis and what's going on and what it all means for us individuals, especially for us potential first time home buyers who are looking, but we might not have a shot.
And it's unfortunate too, because yeah, there's a lot of first time home buyers, and there was a point in time where it was really good because the interest rates were super, super low. And what that means is when the interest rates are low, when you are borrowing money, you are not going to be paying back as much money as you borrowed. Yeah, you're going to pay back a little bit more than what you borrowed because of interest and all of that. But because the interest rates were so low, I mean, like 1.5, 1.
Yes,
Like they were
2%. Mm-hmm.
low, 1.2, 1.3%. They were like really, really low. And that was another thing that was unheard of, because now you have people who don't have A1 credit, because typically people who have A1 credit, and I'm talking like A1 credit, like they're in the 800s,
Yeah,
not 725 or anything.
750. Mm-hmm.
Granted, that's good. That's a
Mm-hmm.
great credit score to be in the 700s, especially in the mid 700s. But like typically to get a low interest rate like that, you have to have pristine credit and like 800 plus. So so the fact that it was such a low interest rate, and people with credit scores of like 650, 725. Yes, no, in the 600s. There's people in the 600 qualifying for mortgage loans with that low interest rate. So that meant that when it's time for them to pay back that money, they're not paying back as much. So those people who got in, those people who got in early and they were able to qualify for those loans, those mortgages, at that low interest rate, and they were able to get a home before the prices skyrocketed, they're good because they got equity. Like I promise you, they got equity at least 3 or 4 months into their home. Like only being in their home for 3 or 4 months, they already got equity. So what I mean by that, when I say equity, when you go in and you purchase a property and you're getting equity. So say you purchase a property and I'm going to use this kind of a live example that's here. There's a property here. The homes started at, we're going to use round numbers. The home started at 400,000. You get the home for 400,000. They continue to build additional phases in this development. And because they're building additional phases in this development, price is going up, the value is going up because they're improving the land. So now instead of the houses being 400,000, starting at 400,000, they're now $600,000. So the people who moved in and only paid $400,000 for their homes initially when that development first started, they already have equity in their homes just 3 months in, because the value has gone up because so many people have purchased homes in that development, and it took the value up. And so now phase two in that same development, they're starting at 600,000. So now you have it, and they probably start, and I'm just saying they probably started phase two, let's say 6 to 8 months from when you initially purchased the property in that neighborhood. So now the homes in that area are worth $600,000, starting at $600,000. You now, because you purchased at 200 and now the value 6 to 8 months later is starting at 600,000, you now have $200,000 of equity in your home. So you see how that works? Yeah.
Right.
So there were people who the ones who got in early, they got equity in their home very, very fast. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
so on the flip side of that, the resale value of their home, if they wanted to, because typically most mortgages, you only have to stay in the house for at least a year before you can either rent it out to someone else or resell it. So the people who purchased the house at $400,000, because now they have $200,000 of equity in their home just 8 months down the line, if they stay in that house for, a year or a little bit more, close to 2 years, they can now sell that property. Instead of the $400,000, they can sell it for the $600 or the $700 or the $800,000, which is what that property, that neighborhood, that development is now worth.
Yes.
So they
Mm-hmm.
doubled their investment. But the thing is, here's the thing. It's not a good idea to sell if you don't have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
So yes, you doubled your investment, but okay, your $400,000 that you spent a year and a half ago is not going to be able to buy you the same thing a year and a half later.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going to need additional $200,000 or $300,000.
Now you're back in the hole again.
Exactly. So sellers are sitting, buyers, they have this money and they're sitting. They literally were just giving out money. So you have buyers who have this money and they're just like, I need to buy something. I need to buy something. But there's nothing to buy because sellers don't have anywhere to go. And it's just, everything is just overpriced. It's crazy. So yeah, it's one thing affects the other. It's a revolving door of just a number of things. And yeah, it's crazy.
Does that also reflect with individuals? Maybe you're not looking to purchase a home. Maybe you're trying to look for an apartment because, as we know, apartment rents are going up as well. So,
So the average rent here in North Carolina for a 2-bedroom apartment is $1,700.
child, that's crazy.
And
How many
it's
bedrooms?
2 bedrooms. And now I know most people from New York be like, oh, $1,700 for a 2-bedroom. That ain't nothing. Because I know you all are up there in New York. I know for
Studios, and when we say studios, we're talking about studios probably starting at 300 square feet or between 300 potentially 500 square feet. Someone just telling me the other day that they're starting off at 1,500. I was like, y'all kidding me
for
right now.
400 square feet. Oh my gosh. What's that guy's name? What is his name? That comedian, Rich? I'm going to post it. I'm going to put it on my reel. But he just said, he was like, JoJo, Joseph, I don't know what you and Cosmikazi are doing, but y'all need to do something about this rent. Why are y'all, they are charging literally $1,500. He said, what he said was they're charging $1,500 for closets. I was cracking up because it's the truth. Like you said,
It really is a closet.
a closet, like 300 square feet ain't nothing.
No, it's not.
It's really not. If you all are not familiar with like square footage and how big stuff is, go to IKEA and go to one of those little like demo rooms that they have set up, and you'll see how big 500, 400, 300 square feet is. And they're charging for that little space. They're charging, like she said, up in New York, they're charging $1,500 for
Yes.
300 square feet. Here in North Carolina, at least you get 2 bedrooms. But let me tell you, it's 2 bedrooms. Like I'm in a 2-bedroom and I live uptown. I'm in a 2-bedroom and it is, I think I might have close to 680 square feet. And I'm paying $1,250.
It's just too much.
Right. But I will say my neighborhood is very walkable. So like if I don't want to drive anywhere or anything and I just wanted to ride my bike, I could ride my bike uptown. Like I could literally ride my bike uptown. I could walk down to the light rail. I could ride my bike to the grocery store. Like, and it's a number of different things that's around where I live that I could either walk or ride my bike to. And if, you know, if I'm going traveling a longer distance, of course, yes, I'm gonna drive. But you know, yeah, I live uptown and everything, and that's and my price is a good price. Like it
Yeah.
is a good price, because you're not going to find anything this cheap like in this area, especially like right around the corner. There's another big house they turned into like a multi-family. It's a fourplex. What I live in is a fiveplex, but they it's a fourplex and it's one, so it's one bedroom, one bathroom, and I think their rent up there is like 1,400.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
The
they're
the
around the corner.
the the rent situation and the housing situation, I mean, it's just pandemic has really put a crunch on all of us.
Yeah.
And it's really forced us all to really rethink our finances and how we're spending and things like that. Would love to live a certain type of a lifestyle. I really,
Oh
really,
yeah.
really,
Of
really
course.
wish I do. But I do have to give some second thoughts to some things. Now, sometimes I might just bite the bullet and I'll go on and just buy me something nice because I just want to have something nice because it
Right.
makes
You
me.
deserve it. Of course. Yeah.
And we work hard, like they slave us around Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
So it's like if the corporation that you're working for is not slaving you around Monday through Friday, your clients that you have, if you have clients, if you have a client-based business, it's slaving you around Monday through Friday, or
Yeah.
some people have Sunday to Sunday. And so I really thought your post was very insightful because me personally, I've been dabbling back and forth in regards to my housing situation because, like I told you, I have like a situation here on the property where I've lived for a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
Up
where
and
I've
up.
lived for a
I,
long time that now I'm debating about moving somewhere else, but like the reality of it all is I want to make sure that I live in a space where my that's going to ensure some sort of safety because no one is safe nowhere. If
right.
someone really wants to get to you, they'll figure out a way to get to you because people are just super crazy like that.
Yeah. And,
So I already know that. But also the other thing in reality is that I came into my unit at a good time and I'm kind of like grandfathered in. I'm like riding a more of a discounted wave.
mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Right. And that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate because this was another topic of conversation. And this is actually, so right before I posted that, I actually just got off of the, our association. So I'm the president of the neighborhood association where I live. And that was one that has been a topic of discussion is just safety. We're living in this great neighborhood. It's walkable to all these great places. We're literally minutes from uptown, but we're still dealing with a safety issue. One of the tenants neighbors, whatever, in one of the units, his window has been busted in twice in 1 week.
No, that's not safe. Yeah.
Twice in 1 week. And then last night, I actually moved my vehicle like kind of on a main street. And the girl that lives in the building across the street from where I am, she had parked on the street where I was. And I asked her, I said, do you want to switch? And she said, no, I'm fine. I was like, the neighbor down here, his window has been busted twice in the last week. And she was like, oh, it's okay. She was like, my car has been broken in twice in the last couple of weeks. I'm like, that is not
That's
okay.
not the norm. Yeah,
It,
that's not okay. Yeah.
that's not normal, right? But that's part of like the pros and cons when you're living inner city, when you're living in a neighborhood that is being gentrified.
Yes.
Um,
My
you know,
neighborhood definitely is one of those neighborhoods being
yeah,
gentrified. Yes.
kind of have to deal with that. It's a process, and until everything has changed. But again, wherever you go, there's going to be crime. But yes, when you're living in a neighborhood that's being gentrified, you're uptown. It's part of urban living. However, I don't think you should have to sacrifice safety in order to achieve an urban lifestyle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah, so like the area where you live, like when I come up there, I love just flying in. I get me a taxi right from the airport, come to your place. I spend a couple of days there, and then we walk to the train. What is that,
We
like
move and we shake. Yeah.
walk? What is that, 10-minute walk to the train?
10 or less. Yeah.
10 minutes or less to walk to the train, and then we take the train, we in the city. So like your location is really good, and then you have like all the different eateries and things like that around, so everything is up there. So I get it, I understand the accessibility to being around everything. And that's the same thing with the neighborhood here. Like because my true New York spirit does not always like driving. I'm like, I'm gonna ride the bus, I'm gonna walk somewhere, I'm gonna get on this light rail to get where I need to get. I
Mm-hmm.
don't always like driving everywhere because the traffic is stupid crazy, and the drivers don't know how to drive, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with that. So I get it, but again, I don't think you should have to sacrifice safety for the sake of living somewhere that is accessible to everything.
Yeah. Right. Right. Because not only that, the people that are managing the property, whether it's HOA or you have actual property management team, they also need to have a sense of urgency as well. And that's one of the conversations that I had with the management team last week when I went to go report the issue that I'm experiencing. But I was highly annoyed with them because no one was I didn't feel like I was fully being heard with what I was saying by my property manager, who I found out it was a new property manager, because um he was just trying to shoo me off to someone else in the department to spill my issues. But I had to let him know very quickly that the person who you're telling me that I need to shuffle my issues to already know what's up. She
Right.
already is in the loop. And I then also made it a point to say to him, but I feel that you're trying to shoo me away, and I'm sitting here trying to let you know what's going on with me, and you're not receiving what I'm saying, you're not taking it in. You
Right.
just want to shoo me off to the next person. He wanted to reassure me that they was going to do X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 but I haven't heard nothing yet. I can't be living on a property where someone is harassing me,
Yeah.
basically. What's going on? Cuz he's in the chat. What's going on? So I'm going to pay them a visit tomorrow. It's like if I'm not on somebody's necks, nobody's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
I
And
don't need to be
and
doing
they
that. And
don't
I told
care.
them that last week. I
They don't,
have lived on this property for many, many years. Y'all is the first property management that I have been displeased with, and I told them y'all ain't got it going on right now.
yeah, but they don't care.
They
They
don't care. He didn't care.
really care because they're only there to manage. They are there for the interest of the investors who are now managing that property.
Mhm.
Yes, they're there to make sure people are safe, things are working, things of that nature, but their number one interest, their priority are their clients who have now purchased, or yeah, the people who are now owners, the new owners of that property. They just want to make sure that everything is working up to code, um, in order to rent it to, so they can take the prices up and rent it out to the next person. Because guess what? You sit up there and you complain about a harassment or safety issue or whatever the case may be. That is not a priority on the list because technically it doesn't affect your actual housing situation. Does that make sense?
That don't make sense because now I'm getting kind of triggered. Go ahead,
Okay.
go on.
It
Because now I'm getting triggered. I,
it
I
does
was just like,
it
what the
doesn't
hell?
it doesn't affect your housing situation, which means like, okay, yeah, you may have a state, like someone may be harassing you in the building, but as long as the four walls inside of your apartment if your toilet is working, if you have hot water, if the ceiling is not caving in, if the floor is not, if you're not like walking through and like falling through the floor, if you have heat in the wintertime, and let me tell you, you have to have heat in the wintertime, but you do not have to have air conditioning in the summertime. That is a luxury. Let me tell that is a
Yeah,
house.
you have to, I do. Yes, that is true. That's why we got window units. Yes.
Not have to They do not have to provide you with air conditioning, but they do have to provide you with heat in the wintertime, and that's
How
just
wait, how is air a luxury? We get hot. You can die from
out
heat exhaustion.
that window. You better get a
Wow.
fan. You better
Wow.
you better do something. It
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
so
you're
they have to provide you with air in the summertime, but they do have to provide you with heat in the winter. So as long as they're doing all those things for the property to actually be livable, then child, they don't care. They don't care about somebody knocking on your door, peeping in your window, following you, arguing with you, parking in your parking space. They don't care about that. As long as those inside those four walls, everything is in working order, they good to go. Because what that means is everything is in working order and it's up to code. That means the 20 people that are on their waiting list, or the 100 people, because I know the waiting lists up there in New York are crazy. The 100 people that's on that waiting list to get your apartment, child, if you complain about it and you leave, they don't care. They got 100 people waiting for your apartment, and that's going to pay more than what you're paying. They
yeah.
don't
Oh, girl, they would love to get me up out of here. I'm sure.
care.
Now, no one has vocally said that to me except for one lady who no longer works here. Who no
Probably
longer.
bothered into a price that's well below market value right now.
Girl, I'm yes, I am. I'm technically like I could be deemed like preferential rent or something like that.
Yeah, they're upset that you're there and that your grandfather into that.
He would want me to because they offered me this program. But the program has two levels, right? It's either the program is because they gave me some story about this issue with with your property, that issue with your property. So we want to offer you this trip program because really what the lady told me in full transparency is that they really want to get everyone out of here so they can tear this building down and remodel it and upgrade it because they trying to
And they
charge
probably the building down. What they'll do, they'll probably gut it out and
gut it out.
they'll gut it out and just redo the floor plans of all the different the apartments in there. So they or they may not do any of that. They may just go in and add, like, update the electrical, update the
Because they said that the building has very old plumbing. So what they really need to do is get everyone out of here so they can put in the new plumbing. And
right,
also, ain't nobody stupid because up and down the street is a lot of developers buying up spaces, building up high rise luxury buildings and stuff like
right,
that. Why? Because there's a lot of people from New York and different individuals who are commuter workers that would love to move in this area because it's only 30 minutes away from it,
right, right.
you see. So
Them telling you that, as far
she
as
was
like,
supposed to tell me that as one of the managers, owner's assistants. She said she was supposed to disclose that information. I was happy that she disclosed that piece of
yeah,
information.
but that's what they're doing. They are moving people out, because once they move you out, they put you in temporary housing, and it's not like, and really honestly, they'll give you a housing voucher. They give you a housing voucher to go somewhere, but that voucher only lasts for so long. And by the time they get all the plumbing and everything else fixed and all that other stuff, now the property is up to value, everything is up to code, and which means that they can take the rent up. And so you have this housing voucher, so you're here in this property with this housing voucher, or you can come back to our property. But if you come back to our property, you're gonna the rent has gone up, is doubled or tripled or quadrupled.
A shame.
Shame.
A shame. A shame. A shame.
That's why when people are like, what does the housing crisis mean? What does that mean? Bitch, ain't nowhere to stay. That's what that means. It's homeless or about to
He's
be.
homeless.
So that's what that means.
People is parked in their homes and not budging.
They're not because they don't have anywhere to go. And
Yeah.
then you have people who have sold their properties And I mean, there's so many horror stories. There's people who have sold their properties and they're under contract to purchase a home, and the sellers, because they couldn't find anything, backed out of the contract. So now you have buyers suing sellers for specific performance. And what that is, they are pretty much taking the sellers to court to follow through on that contract that they signed, that they're going to sell this property to them. So
Basically forcing people out of their homes.
they're forcing people out of their homes, because you got people living in hotels with their entire family and all of their whole life up in a storage unit somewhere, because the sellers said, oh, well, I can't find anywhere to live, so I'm staying in my property. It's crazy.
That's
It,
unfortunate.
it
That's
is.
why that's why you see these mini developments going on, especially in Georgia and Vegas. There's these mini developments coming up with these mini houses, these tiny houses, and these homes in a box type situations.
So I'm not going to even lie. Let me tell you.
Mhm.
I am like, I'm kind of digging like the tiny home lifestyle. Like, again, where I am, it's maybe 680 square feet. It's 2 bedrooms. It's I have 2 bedrooms, bathroom. One of my bedrooms is clearly my office. The other one is my actual bedroom. I don't have the most like, the thing I complain about the most is like not having enough closet space, because I have so many clothes and shoes. I literally have like shoes lined up my hallway. But I have clothes and shoes. But what I've done, I've just gotten really creative with like my storage. So I have cabinets and drawers and things like all over the place, like all over the house. I've made it really cute. But it's literally something in all of these drawers and cabinets. But out in Texas, there is a tiny home, and the tiny house communities are like popping up everywhere.
Everywhere. Yes, they are.
But there's a community in Texas that I found, and I was like, this is so cute. They have such cute tiny homes. Now, people are like, well, what is a tiny home and how big is a tiny home? So, in order to be a true qualified as a true tiny home, it cannot be more than 500 square feet. So,
Oh,
any
great. Tiny home already.
right. I'm like, well, if you take away just like 100 of my square feet,
Yeah, I'm living in a tiny home already, so I can manage.
right. So I'm like, okay, like I've lived in this small space, by myself and my two rabbits. We've been in this small space all this time, and I've made do with this space. I might be able to do a tiny home, And the thing about tiny homes, they are very cheap. So in Texas, they were running like a crazy good deal. Like, you buy the land, or you put the down payment on the land, which was like $2,000. Girl, $2,000. It's like, I'm sorry, 2,500. That was the down payment to like reserve your lot, and then you pay the other 2,500 when you get there, and you get the tiny home and you put it on the land. So, and I think the tiny home, if I'm not mistaken, their cheapest one was like maybe 19,000. It was like
Yeah, because the ones that they're advertising in Las Vegas, which is the homes in a tiny homes in a box. It's called homes in a box. It's like a builder box. They was going for 35K.
yeah.
And
So
they come with your house. They wheel it up to your land. They drop it off. They unravel it, and it just comes like it's like Legos.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the tiny homes here in Texas, I think the cheapest one was like 19 or $20,000, something like that. The thing about it was about this community. This is the thing. So you own the tiny home, however, you don't own the land. And that was the only thing that I didn't really like. It's like you're leasing that land, so you never really own it. Um and the reason why I have a problem with that is because if a developer comes in, or if the company decides, oh, we want to do something else with this land, you got to leave.
Yeah.
You have to leave off that land because you don't own it. So I like the idea of a tiny home because, like I said, you take away 100 square feet of my apartment, my little condo that I have here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Um, I'm pretty much in a tiny home. And you know, I've been able to manage this. And not that I can't manage a big house or anything, but you know, I like I said, the only thing I've really been complaining about is like not having enough closet space, but I've just got really creative with my storage. Um, but so I like the idea of being a homeowner and owning a tiny home, but I want to own the land as well. So that is a big thing because they're not producing more land.
Right. That's true. You can't produce more land.
You can't produce more
The
land.
land we got on that's the land
So
we got.
so that is like really like, so people are like, oh, I'm looking for a house, I'm looking for a house, I'm looking for a house. That's all good and well. You can get a house and become a homeowner. However, if you don't own the land that the house is on, boo boo, you gotta go. Okay. So really, like my thing that I have been like really kind of hyper focused on is finding somewhere to like permanently move with land and move a tiny.
Put a tiny home on top of it. Yeah, I get that.
So that really has been like my thing. Now, people are like, well, what about husband and kids and all that stuff? Yes, that is definitely something to consider. You know, once I get married again and have kids, right, okay. Um, Once I get married again and have kids and you know, yeah, it's we're gonna have to find a bigger house. But for now, while you know, it's just me and my rabbits. I'm sorry, my sister is trying to FaceTime me right now. But while it's just me and my rabbits, yeah, honey, a tiny home is like top of the list.
Yeah.
Top of the list. Well, second on the list. First on the list is purchasing land somewhere, and then second on that list is a tiny home. So
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're looking to be more effective with your dollars and looking to really try to downsize your life, that could be an option.
yeah,
I definitely did some research on some of those homes in a box because I wanted to see what was going on. At that time, they were only offering it in certain states because you have to have permits, has to be permitted to be in your area, and
yeah,
also you need to be able to have ownership to the land as well.
right.
So they were able to do the tiny homes um up up into a 2-story build a box.
Yeah, okay, so that's the other thing too. People think like the tiny homes is just like this square house and you
No,
just walk.
they're 2 levels, they're bi-levels.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, if you okay, so I'm a huge fan on HGTV, of course. Go figure. But the show Tiny House Nation.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they have some really, really, really cute tiny houses up there. And they had one again because in order for it to be qualified as a tiny home, it cannot be more than 500 square feet. So this couple, what they did was they did a 2-story. They did um, two 500 square feet house like on top of each other. So they have 2 floors. It's pretty tall, it's narrow, but it's kind of like a shotgun house. It's narrow, but it's tall. But they have like a full kitchen, full size appliances. They have like a full living room. Um, it's almost like a trailer. Almost, it's just like a smaller version of like a single wide trailer, but it's like 2 trailers stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like genius, because you know to have like a whole living room and then a bedroom and then have like full size appliances and everything. I mean, they have like a bathroom, like a full bathroom, like shower. Now their tub is a little small, but you know it's good for them. It was an older couple. They were downsizing. They were retired. And they, you know, they were traveling and everything like that. So and their house was mobile. The tiny home that they had was mobile. So they were just like hitching it up to the back of
Yeah.
their truck and just kind of traveling the world and just doing that.
The
So
one thing that I don't really like about these tiny home constructs and things like that is that if a tornado comes around, your house is blown away like Annie Ann. Okay.
Okay, so let me tell you, okay, this is so crazy you're having this conversation because like I have like really put a lot of thought into this and done a lot of research. Of course, just being a realtor, like, you know, I have to stay up on all the new trends and everything. So yes, that is a concern as far as like the how structurally sound the tiny homes are, because like you're literally building a house inside of a warehouse, you know, and people are like, how safe is that? Like, how resistant is it to weather and things of that nature? So there's this other trend out. It's still tiny home, but the container homes.
Yes.
So you could get a shipping container. Girl, I'm so excited about this because I'm like, man, this is like awesome. Because and the reason why it makes me so excited, because it opens up the possibilities for home ownership for people who never imagined ever being a homeowner, you know, and not having to spend, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars that you really don't have, and also being tied into a 15 or 30-year mortgage. With the tiny homes and with these container homes, it really does give you the option to be a homeowner at a much cheaper price and give you the freedom of not being tied into that mortgage for 15 or 30 years. You can get a tiny home or a container home. And let me tell you, these container homes, they are sturdy. They are like really, really sturdy. I mean, they ship these containers. Um, they're built to withstand high wind and hail and water and extreme colds and extreme heats. Because a lot of times they're on these cargo boats, and they're on these cargo boats for months and months and months at a time. Some of them are. So you can buy a used container or you could buy a new container. And it, depending on the like the condition of it, that's how they price it. So if it's a new one, yeah, you'll probably spend maybe like $10,000 for the actual container, and then you'll probably spend another 20 to actually like outfit it and, you know, get it, you know, have everything put in there to actually turn it into a home. But I mean, $10,000 for the container, and then $20,000 or $30,000 for renovations. You're only looking at $30,000 or $40,000 for a house, for a whole house.
Yeah.
That you've paid off.
Yeah.
So, you know, because a lot of times when
That could be someone's 1 year salary. If someone was hunkered real down, you could pay that off in a year or two.
right, right. So if you're getting a loan, if you get a loan for $50,000 or even 100, let's just, if you get a loan for $100,000, you got enough money to buy the container, get it outfitted, purchase the land, and do everything that you, and still have a little bit money left over to do other stuff.
A container home. I'm gonna have to Google that, see what that looks like. I've heard of container homes. I never just did deep dives into it. I've only looked into the tiny homes, and the homes in a box.
Now, look at the container homes. That is another route that you can take outside of the homes in a box, excuse me, or the tiny homes, container homes. That is another option.
What?
And I have really been looking into getting a container home. Like, it's real. I'm gonna send you some. This one lady, as a matter of fact, she's in Ohio. She has 3 different properties. They're on Airbnb. Yo, her homes are super, super, super dope. I mean, super dope. But they're containers. There's container homes. All she did was took like one of the properties. She took, it looks like one, two. She probably took 4 containers and stacked them on top of each other, and then the last 1, 2, 3, 4. She has a 5th one on the back side of it that crosses, that sits on top of the other ones, and she got a whole. It's dope. She
Yeah.
just 4 containers, set them on top of each other, cut out some windows and some doors, and open. You know, and when you open up the like the interior part of it, It's a whole house. It's dope. It's so dope.
Yeah, you gotta send me that one. I want to see what
Yeah,
that one.
it's super dope. I'll send it to you.
Well, listen, this was great. I think I'm gonna save this live because this was more than just a little chit chat. This actually was
But save it. This is cool.
yeah,
I don't
this actually.
I don't know how to just send it to me because yeah, this was super super cool, very informative.
Let me see. Hold on, because
Let me see.
I think that I mean you're already on here, so whatever. But I think that IG has a new way where I think they like save there. You can like save two people on one like live or something.
Oh, cool, awesome. Okay.
I think that's part of the new features. But listen here, this is a great conversation. I normally would have these kind of conversations on my business page.
Yeah, I know this was on a personal page. I know.
I
Look,
know I have this kind of conversation on my business page, but I'll probably download the video if it allows me to and maybe try to re-upload it, but it doesn't matter. This
yeah.
was great, great, great. I'll probably even add this onto my YouTube.
Ooh. Okay, so you're getting me
It's
so
a
excited.
section
Oh,
on YouTube called Carlotta's Conversations or Conversation with Carlotta, whatever I named it. It'll be on my YouTube channel.
okay.
Click the link in the bio if you are catching the replay and you want to see what's going on YouTube. I'm over there.
Cool, cool. And see, and I'm glad with you being the PR person, marketing and social media and all that stuff. I'm so glad that you're like up on all of that because you're going to be my go-to.
Yeah,
I I am starting um I've already started the YouTube channel, but I got so frustrated when I started it. Like I was just like, I'm not doing this. But I know it is vital to have a YouTube channel. It
it's
is vital
vital.
to
Yeah.
have
I just posted something. I've been trying to get into the little vlogger sphere, and so I've been dabbling my little hands in like little vlogger sphere. I'm trying to work on a podcast that hopefully be out by March 30th of this month. Um, and I'm trying to see how I can
I'm
filter
still working on my reels, okay?
work on reels. This, yeah, I think you could probably this will probably upload to your reels. You could probably upload
I
this to
hope
reels.
so, because yeah, I'm definitely going to upload this to my reel. But I'm starting a podcast, and it is going to be conversations like this. Excuse me, it's going to be conversations like this. So again, I'm glad you're up on all this because I'm going to be reaching out to you to help me upload these videos and get the YouTube channel started.
Connect you with the people that's helping me and stuff like that because child, this whole industry, this digital content and digital marketing game,
It's crazy.
it's a lot. I mean, shout out to the ones that are dedicated, that do it day in and day out, that's been doing
Yeah,
it for 5, 10, 12, like ever since YouTube been out years.
right.
So shout out to all those people. I bought a course to kind of understand some of the back ends and stuff like that. And she explained it very, very, very well. And she gave me some ideas, which is some stuff that I'm implementing for the month of March. I'm doing a 30-day IG challenge, IG live challenge. Well, excuse me, on my hair page, which is what I have on right now. And so the challenge basically is to get you more comfortable going live. You go on every single day for 30 days for at least 5 minutes a day, talking about something so people can get more familiar with you, basically.
Okay, I can.
You could actually do that because you have a business page, or you could do it on this one. You
I'll do it. I need more traffic on my real estate page.
Yeah, so you could probably do because today is the first day of Women's Month.
Women's Month, yes, yes, it is.
So that's why I decided to take a stab at it. So I talked to some of my coaches last month. They got me kind of prepared. We have like an outline like set up, and so yeah, we got some stuff going on. But anyways, we'll chat offline. But other than that, this was great. Make sure you guys follow her. Click the link. Click her name. Make sure you follow her. Send her DM if you have any questions about real estate, anything housing, anything crisis, just anything like how do I just get my
If
whole life.
you buy or sell a home
Buy or sell a home, contact her. She'll be able to assist you. And,
in South Carolina as well.
and Absolutely. And for me, of course, if you want to know anything about me, click the link in the bio, listen to some of my past shows. You can see some of my interviews on YouTube. You know the spiel, basically. Okay. Other than that, I'll probably talk to you later. And guys, we'll talk to you on the next time.
Yep. Thank you for inviting me in. This was so good.
No problem. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.